Hello and welcome back. In this video I've got the top 10 pellet grill tips for beginners. These are going to help you use your pellet grill better, help it last longer, and help you make great food. Hit that subscribe button down there. Check this out. That's a chili dog right there, y'all. And don't forget, y'all, as usual, there's links to everything used in this video in the description below. So the first tip isn't really numbered, but if you don't already have a beer to enjoy while you're watching this video, go get you one. I'll wait a second. Now stay with me. The last two of these tips are going to be the most important ones, but we got to get through these first. Tip number one. If you have a louvered grease shield like this one in this Camp Chef woodwind, you might not want to foil it. You can, but then you got to cut slots for all the little grooves in that grease shield. With non-louvered grease shields, you probably do want to use foil on top of it to help keep your grill clean and make cleanup a whole lot easier. Tip number two, always cook with your food over top of your grease drip tray. Your grease drip tray is not going all the way to the edge because it allows for proper airflow. So if you have food that sticks out past the grease tray, grease can drip down into the barrel, get on the fire pot, cause a grease fire, and it's just a real pain to clean out. So you always want to make sure when you cook it on a pellet grill, any pellet grill, that your food stays over top of your grease drip tray. Tip number three. No matter what kind of pellet grill you have, get you a set of these grill grates to put on them. The grill grates are a raised rail aluminum grate system that sits on top of your grill's existing grates. It concentrates all that heat to the surface to give you those wonderful grill marks, which is awful hard to get with a pellet grill without them. They also help crisp up your chicken skin and just make everything grill up a lot better. And there's a link, of course, to the grill grates that fit the Camp Chef woodwind down in the comments below. Do make sure that your grill grates do not hang out past that drip tray like we talked about in that other segment. Tip number four. Most pellet grills are going to have the burn pot and the chamber cleaned either every cook or at least every other cook because the ash just builds up and new pellets won't ignite on your next cook. You're going to want to take this thing apart, get a shop vac, and vacuum out all of the pellet grill dust and ash from inside the barrel of your smoker. And don't forget to vacuum out the burn pot. Of course, if you have a Camp Chef pellet grill, this is real easy. You just push this up, pull this lever, and that dumps all of the ashes right into this ash cup. Now you can just dump that out and get back to cooking. Tip number five. Take care of your pellets. You got good pellets you spent a lot of money on. If they get wet or moist, they just don't work good or don't work at all. Or worse, clog up your auger, which completely renders this thing useless until you tear it apart, clean it, and put it back together, which is a real pain in the butt. Protect your pellets by keeping them dry. Store them in a dry place. If you can, keep your grill in a nice dry place like a garage or shed. And if you're not going to be using your pellets for a long period of time, just about every pellet grill manufacturer has a way to easily dump the pellets out of your hopper. Now, if you're going to do that for longer term outside storage of your pellet grill, make sure you run your auger on the feed setting and get all of those pellets pushed out of that auger so they don't turn into a solid block of wood in there. Tip number six, use good pellets. I always use species wood pellets. I do not like the pellets made by a certain company that starts with a T that are just ash or alder flavored with oils. Get oak pellets, get cherry pellets, get hickory pellets, or you can get pellets like this. These are a premium pellet actually made by ground up wine barrels. This was used with oak barrels to age red wine, and I'll put a link to these pellets down in the description below. They're really good and lend a really cool flavor, very different to your chicken, fish, beef, or pretty much anything you cook. Tip number seven, keep your temperature probe clean. This is the temperature probe in mine. Every pellet grill has one of these temperature probes, and if it gets dirty, that's what gives the signal to your board to feed pellets or not feed pellets. And it can really screw up your temperatures and everything on how your pellet grill runs. So always make sure that that tip of that probe is clean and shiny every single cook. Now give me that thumbs up like button for that one. Tip number eight. Most pellet grills have an adjustable stack cap on them, and you can set them down pretty low, but I don't recommend it. They don't breathe well. It's best to keep this cap open. This cap's main job in life is to keep moisture, water, rain from running down in this pellet grill, and it needs to breathe. Air is your friend with a pellet grill. So while you'll see some manufacturer instructions say to have about a 1-inch air gap here, I like it all the way open, at least 1.5 inches to 2. That's going to make it breathe a lot better and burn a lot better. Tip number 9, always light your pellet grill with the lid open. As the pellets are fed into the burn pot, your hot surface igniter is getting glowing red hot, and it's going to ignite those pellets. Listen for the change in the sound of the fire. When it sounds like a little rocket engine in there, it's okay for you to close the lid. Tip number 10. Always, if you have a new pellet grill, make sure you burn it off correctly. A new grill has all kinds of different oils and lubricants and anti-corrosive agents and all kind of crap in it that you need to burn off. To do that, get the grill running as hot as it will go. Let it run for about 30 to 45 minutes to burn all that junk off before you do any cooking on it. Trust me, it's going to make the first few cooks taste a whole lot better. Tip number 10, especially if you've cooked on it once or twice before, the grates are going to be pretty nasty. There's going to be stuff on them. I don't care how well you try to brush them off. They're just not going to be clean. There's bacteria and junk like that on there. You need to preheat your grill all the way up to your cooking temperature. If you're doing a low and slow smoke, do yourself a favor. Heat this thing up to over 350. Let it run a good 20, 30 minutes, at least 20 minutes at 350. And then turn it back down to your smoke temperature and start cooking. Your cook's going to go better, your food's going to be safer, and everything about it's just going to be a whole lot better if you properly preheat your grill before you start to cook. Nice little sizzle going there from a properly heated pellet grill. Tip number 11, doesn't matter how long it takes, you need to cook your food to the finished temperature you're looking for. Using a good temperature probe like the Chef's Temp X10 is a must. This is a good instant read thermometer, but there's other probes too. Most pellet grills come with from 1 to 4 probe connections and probes. Some even have this little handy port on the side that you can run your probe wires through. Some, like the Camp Chef Woodwind, actually has one that hooks through the home's Wi-Fi, but if you don't have that or you need more probes, Tapicue makes the Touch, which is a fully wireless internet-based probe that can handle up to 8 different temperature probes hardwired into your unit with splitters. It can also use the Tapicue Air Probe, which is a completely wireless probe solution. This actually probes your meat and another probe on it for your cooker temperature, so you can monitor this through Bluetooth or through the Tapicue Touch Wi-Fi system, allowing you to do what you need to do while your food's cooking on those nice long smokes. So for any of you guys that say, well, I've never used a temperature probe before and my food comes out great. Yeah, that may be, but guess what? Every single barbecue champion you'll ever see has some kind of instant read thermometer in his pocket. If you're not cooking to temperature and not time, there's no way you can get consistent, great results out of your cooks. Do yourself a favor when you get an instant read, get you one like this Chef's Temp that you can read in the dark. Tip number 12, stop worrying about temperature swings. Guys, it's a pellet grill. Let me explain how this works. The temperature probe, which you saw, sends a signal to the board and says, I need more pellets. When it gets up to temperature, the auger stops feeding pellets. The smoke actually cleans up as all the pellets ignite, and it goes ahead and burns relatively clean. Then as the temperature drops off, the auger feeds more pellets. As the pellets are coming in on the hot fire, it snuffs them out a little bit, and while those pellets are catching, they smoke, and they smoke pretty good. That's when you get most of your smoke flavor out of your pellet grill, and this is what you want. The temperature fluctuation is necessary to give you that smoke flavor. In fact, if you have a grill like the Camp Chef that has multiple pellet smoke settings, you actually are making it have a higher temperature swing to give you more of that smoke flavor. That's how a pellet grill works. As long as it's somewhere close middle of the swing of your temperature setting, that's what you're looking for. Bonus tip, use a grease bucket liner. These things do a great job of making cleanup of your grease bucket a whole lot easier. There you go, keeps everything clean. When you're done, throw this away, pop another liner in there, you're back in business. If you can think of a tip that I missed that you think should have been included in this video, please leave me a comment below and let me know what you think it is. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. There's links to that in the description below. Now give me that thumbs up like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button down there and the bell icon so you don't miss videos like this one when they come out. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. That's a chili dog right there, y'all. What you're hearing is pellets falling into a clean dump thing because I didn't shut the lid on the damn hopper. There we go. That'll work much better. We have got the best 7 tips and tricks that you need to know to start this recording over. Hello and welcome back. In this video, I've got 10 great tips for beginners on. So there you go. I need a beer. Hold on. First things first.